What do you think about the Russell Westbrook back and forth, if you will, with your colleague from the Oklahoman, Barry Trammell? What do you think about that, Ray?
It struck me as Russ wanting to control his surroundings constantly. I mean, I think that's sort of a common theme in the way he plays and just sort of the way he is. I mean, I'm pretty sure that Steven Adams is smart enough to give a bland answer, but I know that Barry Trammell and Russell Westbrook have had their backs and forths, so I think it was him sort of trying to establish himself as the alpha male yet again. And I didn't know this until he said this on Dan Patrick, that this was like only the second time he's done a post-game presser with another player. So I think, it was, and without knowing Russell Westbrook, I'm only speculating, but it sounded like he was going to control as much of the area around him as possible, and that included the questioning. It was awkward. It was probably unnecessary, but it was absolutely him.
Now, would you have given the microphone back up?
I'd like to think not. I thought Barry handled it well. I mean, he didn't back off, what his original statement was, which was, I'm not asking you the question. And I think because it was that, I don't know, I found it more appealing than if he was just trying to be petulant to try to rub it in Westbrook's face. The question wasn't aimed at him. And, Russell just sort of said, no, I'll decide what questions are aimed at me.
Did you ever have anything like this? Back and forth?
No, not in a post-game presser. Just because those are fairly artificial. What's unusual was that, Russell was going to be that adamant about it. And because he was that adamant about it, it made it far worse. Like I said, I think if he had just let Steven Adams answer the question, there wouldn't have been an issue.
What do you mean by artificial? Fairly artificial, those things.
Well, you're not really having a conversation with a player. It's all staged. They want you to identify who you are before you ask the question. It's designed simply to be a televised event, not an actual exchange of information. And it's when the PR guy decides, well, that's enough because we've got somebody else coming in, the conversation ends, whether it's going somewhere or not. That's what I mean by artificial.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.